Historic low of 95.55 paisa against the US dollar in early trading today, marking its biggest single-day fall in recent months. The sharp decline comes as global crude oil prices have skyrocketed past $105 per barrel following serious concerns over a fragile and unstable US-Iran ceasefire. The sudden surge in oil prices has triggered fresh alarm in the Indian market over rising inflation and a significant jump in the country's import bill. Experts believe that sustained high oil prices could put further pressure on the rupee and widen India's current account deficit in the coming weeks. Ajay, not a good day for the rupee. This is very, very concerning that it's almost approaching 100 at this point in time.
Yes, you rightly said, because currency of our nation is very important, and when it comes to import the things, then definitely it's matter a lot. And Indian rupees is continuously going down, and 95.55 paisa, which is the lowest rupee cost, and definitely it is a matter of concern for the ongoing situation in the Middle East and crude oil prices. That is a major concern for the authorities, and how this is going to settle, that has to be seen, because it is not going to happen in a day or two, because we have seen that the ceasefire is almost over, and the countries, those who were hoping that after the ceasefire and this war is going to end, and after this fresh attack on UAE, nuclear power station, it clearly indicates that this is going to be more troubling in the coming days, and definitely a matter of concern for the government of India as the rupee is going down and down daily.
Just stay with us. Dr. Sharad Kohli, senior economist, also joins us on the program. Dr. Kohli, the rupee suffered a big jolt today. What is this likely to do for the Indian economy in the next few weeks?
Good evening, Vineet, to you and the viewers. Well, not very good news as far as the Indian economy is concerned. It's going to increase our current account deficit. It is going to further, put a dent on our import bill, which has been climbing. Now, I attribute a few reasons beside, of course, the crude oil. Another reason is persistent selling by the FIIs and the FPIs from the Indian stock markets, Vineet. From January till now, they have sold more than rupees 2 lakh crore worth of stocks. They book their profits and then taken the money away. So every time they sell, there's obviously dollar buying and pressure on the rupee. That's the second reason besides the crude oil prices. The third reason is that our imports have also, other than crude, have also been rising. India is now the largest manufacturer of iPhones and Samsung phones, and all the components which are imported, they have to be imported, and the price has to be paid in US dollars. So that is another reason. Plus another reason which not many people realize, the remittances which come from abroad, we've got about 3 crore plus Indians settled out of the country. So $140 billion is the quantum of remittance which comes in a normal situation. Because of what is happening in the Middle East right now, some of the Indians settled there, which is about 1 crore of them in GCC region. They have either lost their jobs, or they're sitting back home, or their own incomes have gone down, or they've come back home. So I think that has impacted the inflows of. So every time the inflow is restricted, Vineet, that also puts pressure on rupee, because it's a balancing act. The dollar keeps coming in and rupee stays slightly up, and when the inflow stops, rupee comes under further pressure. And then another reason which many people don't know, the Reserve Bank of India plays an important role as an equalizer. It does dollar-rupee swaps, but because of forex reserves have suddenly become very precious for us, we saw Prime Minister making the appeal. And what was common on those 7 appeals was saving of foreign exchange reserves. So I think RBI has not been doing those dollar swaps lately, which is also letting the rupee in a free fall kind of a thing as far as dollar is concerned. So not a good situation. Current account deficit is mounting, and I think the global economy, Indian economy for that matter, right now is facing the challenge of inflation because of rupee, because all our imports are getting expensive. Well, the next 3-4 months I see as very, very crucial, we need from an economic point of view.
Dr. Kohli, stay with us. In fact, oil prices in the global market are likely to remain in the high range of 90 to 110 US dollars. per barrel, as there is little prospect of a swift and durable settlement between US and Iran with the full reopening of the Strait of Hormuz. This is as per a Moody's global report on geopolitical risks. Moody's said that even if safe passage in the strait were to resume in the next 6 months, the oil market would remain supply constrained with persistently higher and more volatile energy prices and broader knock-on effects through costs, demand and financing conditions for exposed borrowers. Dr. Kohli, even if the war ends tomorrow and the Strait of Hormuz is opened, how long is this reconciliation of economies likely to take?
Well, I have been of the similar view because, before the war started, $65 to $70 or $60 to $70 was the crude oil price, which was very, very affordable and reasonable. But now I feel that even if the war subsides and Strait of Hormuz opens and normal traffic starts flowing, because so much is the damage being done to the oil infrastructure in the GCC or West Asian region, that I think $80 and above may become the new normal. Well, this will again not be very good news for our economy because we are depleting our forex reserves faster than we imagine. And I think the situation is going to become very difficult for the nations which are dependent on oil, majorly dependent. Well, India depends 87% of its crude oil requirements on imports. And there are countries like Vietnam, Japan, Korea, Indonesia, who are heavily dependent on imports. So I think it's not very good news for them. And I think I have a feeling, Vineet, although I hesitate to say that the global economy seems to be sinking into recession. And we heard PM speak from Netherlands when he said that if the situation doesn't improve, a major part of global population will sink into poverty because they're going to lose their jobs. The demand is going to come down. There'll be closure of factories, manufacturing and farming. Everything is going to be impacted. So one, crude oil can have such a tremendous cascading, rippling effect on the global economy. I mean, it is unimaginable for a common man to understand the economics and how far-reaching can be the impact on one's own domestic economy as well.
Right, Dr. Kohli. Yash is also joining us at this point in time to take us through some important parameters of this rupee crash, as well as the hike in the crude oil prices, which don't seem to be abating at this point in time. Yash, over to you.
Yes, Vineet very rightly pointed out on our screens right now, live prices of the Brent last day financial. This is how the market is currently looking right now. This is how Brent crude oil is currently looking right now. It's at $109.24 per barrel, which is 3.3% up in today itself. The most important parameter here is that its previous close was at $105.72 per barrel, and it went to an all-time high, to a high of $109.73. It opened at a modest $106.57, but largely it has remained above $100 per barrel. If you take a look at a 5-day graph, you can clearly see the flashpoints where some kind of deal is cracked and then the oil prices go down, then Trump tweets something, the oil prices go up, and this has been happening for the past month. If we take a look at the graph, you can clearly point out the factors, you can clearly point out positions where some kind of momentum was made between Iran and the US during this whole conflict. Ever since the conflict began around 28th Feb in the March 1st week, the prices have risen from almost $76-77 per barrel to now at a rate of 109. It also touched, remember, all-time high of 118.3 US dollars per barrel on the 29th of April, and it has been above 100 ever since. Back to you.
Yes, thank you for that. All right, more breaking news.